Look at us. We look like twins. We both got yellow shirts. Yours is a Christmas shirt, I guess.
Santa Claus is surfing.
But look, we're twins.
Oh, we're so cute together.
This is a good day. We are on a level, Dan, that we've never been on before.
What level is that?
Same shirt level.
Same shirt level.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's Hey Watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I happen to be Dan.
And I most definitely am Tony.
Each week we watch a movie, then we convene here to talk about the movie. And we like to sort of pick movies that are terrible. And this week's movie is a movie that Tony watched and hated. I started and turned off.
Okay, good. I thought you were going a different direction.
We thought we were talking about a different movie?
No, I thought you were saying that because I thought this was like an opposition to your intro where you're like, we generally pick movies that are terrible, but this week, and I was like, wait, hold on a second, Dan.
Oh, no. I picked a movie this week, and yeah, it's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie. It's Aquaman from...
Aquaman.
I guess it's from 2023. It's from this year, right?
No. There's another one coming out this year.
2018. Can't read my own
writing. The sequel comes out in the winter, and we will most definitely be doing that as soon as it drops on HBO Max.
Same's director, so you're like...
Yeah.
Poor James Wan. Because he's the guy that did the one with the monster and the lady and the face in the back of her head, which I'm
going to say yes. Yeah, James Wan is the horror movie guy. He did like Insidious and Lights Out. I like his horror movies.
Yeah, he did the crazy one where the woman has the detached baby in the back of her head, and then she does bone break kung fu, which was one of the most fun horror movies I've seen in a long time. That was
okay. I love it.
So he directed Aquaman 2018, 2 hours and 24 minutes. I didn't hate this movie, but it was a terrible movie.
Can I ask you, can you pinpoint why you didn't hate it? Just out of curiosity.
I'm not sure why I didn't hate it, because there were pretty things in it.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
It mostly clipped along, but you could also sort of it was a very easy movie to tune out. They do horrible piles of exposition, but they'd be 90 seconds. They'd be 90 seconds of horrible thing, and then we just do something. Oh, now we're fighting fishmen on the boat, and then they jump in the water, and then they swim, and then you could just sort of be smoking your cigarette, smoking your e-cigarette. We'll talk about that. I did a little research on how Aquaman swims.
Okay. I can't wait to hear all about it, because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
We'll talk about the swimming right off the bat.
Let's get into it.
They don't swim. They just are torpedoes with no motion. So it's just a person they can just stand there. They could be reading a book and be swimming at 1,000 miles an hour.
And it doesn't look like they're swimming. It looks like they're kind of flying Superman style.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
There is no motion. There is no kicking of legs.
But then there's a moment at the end of the film when Mira comes in to get Willem Dafoe. I feel bad that I'm using one character and one real name. And then she swims out like a dolphin. She does her body like this. And I was like, what is going on? Where has that been the whole movie? She suddenly has to swim? What's happening? It doesn't make any sense.
Just if he went like this every once in a while. We'd be
anything. Maybe kick your legs a little. I don't know. It's so bizarre. It's just, and they're just not moving. Oh, I'm going through the water. Through the water.
It's like a kid in a bathtub with an action figure. It's like, here it goes. Here goes Aquaman.
And I would be like, listen, nephew, you got to kick the feet. He's not swimming. He's going to sink.
And then there's
it doesn't make any sense.
There's sometimes where their hair is flowing in the waves. Yep. And then they cut to other scenes where everybody has all their hair in very tight buns so that they don't have to do that.
Don't have to deal with it. It's just oh boy, this is a lot of money just making his hair move, guys. Just tie it up. Which doesn't make any sense, Dan, because then at the end of the movie, I don't know if you noticed this. What's the bad guy's name, by the way? Why can't I think of his name? Orm. He's on land. All of a sudden, his hair is short. He's got like a really cropped, tight haircut, but just scenes before it, his hair was like tied up in a bun and like tied behind his head. They don't make any sense. Those are two different haircuts. What's going on?
Yeah, names in this movie fairly terrible.
Yeah. Not that that's probably their fault. I mean, that's got to be the comics' fault.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Although Ocean Master made me almost pee my pants. It was so funny.
And it's Patrick. What's his name? Patrick
Wilson.
Patrick
right?
Wilson, who just you feel for the guy. You're like, no, he doesn't seem like the guy. I'm in charge of everything.
No,
and
I think back to
Patrick.
Watchmen when he played the owl dude in Watchmen.
Oh, he was the owl dude in Watchmen.
And he's kind of like he is a superhero, but he's also like depressive and not really in, he's not a commanding presence. He's just kind of doing what he can. And I was like, that's the guy. I don't buy this for a second where he's like the king. I'm sorry. I don't see him having that commanding presence.
I was so waiting for the third act reveal that Willem Dafoe was the actual villain. I'm like, oh, Willem Dafoe's the villain.
It's hard to see Willem in a movie and not think that at some point he's going to have a villainous turn. I love him to death. Yeah, but it would have made sense for the movie too.
It would have been a movie thing that you could do. This movie never got around to doing any of the movie stuff. You're just like, oh, my brother. Why don't you just be my brother? It's like
my brother.
After this movie, I rewatched most of Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, it's a good movie.
And you're just like the Loki Thor brotherhood thing. They just got it right. Yeah. It was just every one of those scenes perfect about brotherhood. Thor's interaction with Hulk and being sort of friends, sort of teammates, sort of, just all these different levels that are just played out with humor. And then you watch like the scene where they fight in the arena, and you compare that to the arena fight in this movie, and you're just like, you can't.
You can't do it. You just can't. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it in a little bit, but it's ugly. It's ugly. You know what I mean? Like, and it shouldn't be because you have complete control over it because it's all fake. So you can make it look any way you want.
I mean, there's like little people like, we're fighting. And we stick on this. We're fighting. You're like, where's the impact of this? Where's the, Patrick Wilson, I don't know that he's not a good actor. It's just he's not up to the emotional highs and lows of this.
He's a fine actor. Yeah. But he doesn't have that intimidating, like, I'm the bad guy, even if I'm still a good guy, and probably in the next one, because, they're going to be brothers or whatever. But
are they going to? Is he in the next one? They're using him.
I don't know. I'm assuming he is, because the end of this movie, Momoa's like, when you're ready, let's talk, which is just the least exciting final line ever, but it's fine.
You're in trouble. You're not going to jail, but I'm angry with you.
But, oh boy, I'm going to be disappointed in you, sir.
I've got this green suit now that looks terrible, and I'm going to keep wearing it. You're just like, that's one thing that those X-Men movies, those first X-Men movies were like, you don't need to do the suits they don't have to look 100%. Like comic books, just make them look like clothes. But then people
did complain about that. So, I feel like it's a lose-lose situation. You can't win if you do the costumes because they look ridiculous on human bodies. But if you don't do it, people are like, well, that's not the comic book. I don't know, it's tough.
Then again, I watched the second. I watched most of the Thor Ragnarok. Okay. I watched all of Ant-Man Quantumania, and I watched all of the new Shazam. So I watched all these movies after Aquaman.
Can we talk about all of them?
Oh yeah, we can talk about all of them. But like Shazam, they're wearing the costumes the whole time, and never once did I think, oh, costume. Ugh.
But were you confused when one of the women didn't change people? Did that throw you for a loop?
Well, I think the point is that they're growing into their things.
But here's the thing: it's a different actor from the first one. Then in the first one, that girl turns into another woman, and then in this one, she turns into herself. And I was like, wait a second, I don't understand what's happening here.
I enjoyed it because I enjoyed watching her. So
well, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not mad at seeing more screen time. I just didn't understand the continuity of the situation.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting because the little Asian kid is not becoming that big Asian guy, and all the rest of them are not becoming those other people ever.
Not at all. Not at all. Very confusing what they're trying to tell there. But anyhow.
Hey, what are we gonna do? So Aquaman, we start with the rainstorm. There's a house. A man sees a lady by the sea. He's the lighthouse keeper.
This sounds like a romantic comedy. A man sees a lady by the sea.
Jason Momoa doing some voiceover. These are my parents. This is how they met. Here it goes. Now they're gonna make some whoopee and make little Jason Momoa.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Yeah.
Sexy Aqua Lady, she kills his TV. They're from different worlds. She's never seen a dog or a blanket or a pillow or a fish tank.
Yeah.
He eats his fish.
He eats the fish. Now, I guess here's a question that I have for you, Dan, because we never see any other Atlanteans eat fish. In fact, they all seem to cherish the fish and be friends with the fish. So why is she eating the fish?
Of course they eat fish.
Are you sure?
What do they eat? Seaweed?
I don't know. Plankton? I don't know, but we don't see it. They never eat in the whole movie. I am curious.
Once again, that's another thing is you didn't want to have the big feast scene where they're all sitting at the big table and they're all like,
strong disagree. I want to see it. I want to see them do the thing where they take the fish and then pull it out just bones. You know what I mean? From the cartoons.
Like the cats do in the cartoons?
Yeah. Like the cats do. That's what I wanted to see because I don't understand how their world works, to be honest with you. Do people have jobs? Do they have an economy? Why is this? I don't understand the society.
They worked really hard not to make this a society.
100%. So what is happening? I don't know.
That's
I can't get it behind it.
It's like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to steal everything from Black Panther, right? And we're going to put it under the sea. These multiple groups of people, we got to bring them together to do a thing, sort of, even though that's not really what we do.
Sort of.
And then we have magical city that's, has super magical technology and all this kind of stuff. But Wakanda and all that felt like it was rooted in a society. That felt, there were 100%. People walking around shopping at stalls and, doing stuff. This one just feels like
these people just exist.
The city exists and it's there to support a gigantic army. And every other sea thing is just a giant army.
Yeah, where are the people that aren't in the army? Do we see normal people? I don't even remember.
No, we don't.
This doesn't make any sense, Dan. This is dumb. And other than, I guess, people show up to the arena of fire or whatever the frick they say.
They're in the arena of fire.
I wonder if they had to pay for seats. And what's their currency?
Who are you? I'm Atalanta. I'm the Queen of Atlantis. I speak English. I fled from an arranged marriage, so I'm going to just fall in love with you because you're human.
He also seems like a pretty nice guy. I like him.
He seemed fine. They have a baby. They name him after a hurricane. And then she's like, you're going to have to be the one that unites the sea and the Nazi. Oh, not Nazi. The sea and the land, people. Not the Nazis. Nothing to do with the Nazis.
The unsea. The sea and the unsea.
And then the dudes come to take her away, and they take her away, and she's like, come stand on this pier and wait for me.
Now, Dan, these people that come to get her and show up throughout the movie, I am confused. Are they Atlanteans? Are they robots?
Here's the thing. I know a little about Aquaman.
Okay.
There's supposed to be the blue people and the white people, and then the white people can. Oh no, that's Submariner. I'm getting confused. This is Aquaman, isn't it? That's his DC.
Submariner's great though too, except for in the movie.
I don't know.
Okay, because
In Submariners, some of them can breathe
okay,
oxygen,
some of them
and
can breathe,
others
some of them can't. I mean, if it's the same, that makes sense because some people need these like contraptions, and then
That's true.
they break the helmets, and they're like, "Oh, I can't breathe in the air." But then other people just walk right out of the water.
I think the Royals can do both, and then I think the normal people need some water.
But then why does Patrick Wilson cough up water at some point? When he gets water. It's during the fight, so I guess maybe water just went down the wrong pipe. That happens to me sometimes. But he gets thrown, like the water gets sucked out, and he falls down, and then he coughs out a bunch of water. Nobody does that during the transition at any other time during the movie.
I saw a thing when I was a kid. They took a monkey, right?
Okay.
And what they did was they took a fish tank, and then they hyper-oxygenated the water.
Now, what does that mean?
It's just like poured all this oxygen in the water, so it's sort of suspended in there, right?
Okay.
And they put the monkey in the water. The monkey breathes in the water. There's water in its lungs, but there's so much oxygen in the water, the monkey can breathe.
But I don't feel like you should have water in your lungs, even if you're still breathing okay. I think it's still bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure over long term, but the monkey could live. And then they pull the monkey out, and the monkey barfs all the water out, and then the monkeys breathe air.
Okay. That kind of reminds me of the movie The Abyss. You remember that movie?
Yeah, they did. I think they did the same thing. That's what they did.
It's similar because they put on those helmets and then some sort of liquid fills up, and then they're like a very painful transition where they start breathing that in. I always wanted to do that. I thought that would be cool as shit. So I guess I'm jealous of the monkey. Good job, monkey man.
Good job.
Or woman. I'm sorry. That was sexist.
So she'd been dragged back to Atlantis, going to have to marry King Aerovax or someone.
Some dude, yeah.
Boom, fast forward. Jason Momoa's a little kid. He's at the aquarium. He's talking to the fish. He's like, yo, fish, what's happening?
He has his Harry Potter moment.
Cute little kid. Then the kids bully him.
He talks to the snake because he's a parcel tongue, and then the snake breaks. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong movie here. /book.
I mean, are you trying to say that she came up with that idea? I mean, she came up with that before Aquaman could talk to the fish?
It's the exact same, like, shot for shot. It looks exactly the same. Where the shark comes up over his shoulder, just like the snake, and then it goes down. I was just like, what's going on right now, guys? I don't know. I didn't read the comic book, so who knows if this scene is in the comic books where he discovers his powers.
Okay, so he can talk to the fish, and then his eyes like turn yellow when he's talking to fish.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you have to. There has to be a visual thing for us to know he's talking to fish. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. So we have the titles, and now we have Manta, the guy's gonna become Black Manta. Attacks a submarine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he shows up, and then the sailors know him, and there's terrible rock music, and there's fighting.
There is terrible rock music. The fighting's not terrible, though. Momoa looks good in fight scenes. That's the one saving grace for me of this movie is that Momoa, he looks like he can kick your ass. You know what I mean?
But do they feel like fight scenes, or do they just feel like something? I mean, is there any visceral fight scene-ness to them that you got? I didn't get it at all.
It's the most there is in the entire movie is in this one scene. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm saying compared to the rest, it's the best of the mess because the rest of them are just hot garbage for the rest of the whole movie.
Okay, because in a movie when they fight, when the superheroes fight, which is, the big conflict, they're not going to conflict by talking to each other. They're going to conflict by banging heads and hitting each other with rocks. You never feel it. I never felt it. I never felt like either way, that the good guy's more powerful, the bad guy, you're just like, oh, they're fighting, and then someone will run away or something will happen, and then we will be out of the fight. We don't feel like there's zero stakes ever increased by having a fight.
100%. I agree with you. But again, Momoa looks okay. He looks good. He looks good to me. He's a little bit not that I don't want to like body shame him because that's stupid coming from me, but he's a little bit trimmer than he becomes in the future. Like in Fast X, he's a little bit bulkier, you know?
Oh, okay.
But like right now, he's still at like that peak Drogo physicality, and boy, he looks good.
He's a tight beast.
He's a tight beast, man. Real tight.
So basically, Manta has brought his dad with him. His dad gets pinned under something, and then his dad ends up dying.
First, his dad gives him a knife. This is one of my least favorite parts of this whole movie. This kid, how old do you think Manta is? He's probably 30, right?
36.
Give or take. Yeah, so 30s. His dad is giving him this knife that he apparently carries all the time on every mission, and then he tells him the story. My father gave me this. The kid doesn't even know the story of the knife. You've been working together for 20 years. So stupid.
You should have been like Grandpa's knife that he always carried and then he gave to you when you were when you were doing. Yeah, I mean, yes, they should have given that exposition to the son.
Because it means something to him. Because right now you're giving him a knife that doesn't actually mean anything to him because he doesn't even know the emotional weight. It's very bad. It's bad writing, and it frustrated me, Dan.
And then so his dad gets trapped, and the dad dies, and so he's going to blame Aquaman for his dad dying.
Which is so dumb because here's the thing, Dan. If you're a pirate, okay, let's say you and I are pirates, and that makes us bad people. I'm just going to say it right here. Every time we go do a pirate mission, it's dangerous. There's a chance that something bad's going to happen. You can't blame other people for your mistakes. I don't like this guy.
The dad activates a grenade to blow himself up just to make the son leave, which was just like, let the dude die, and he's pulling on the thing as the dad dies, but the dad's like, I really gotta make you leave, so I'm pulling a grenade.
If you don't leave, I'm gonna kill us both, I guess.
I mean, how does he know the whole ship couldn't just shift and the thing just rolls off of him?
Well,
and he's like, oh shit, I'm alive.
Probably might. You know what I mean? I don't know much about ships, about submarines, but it seems like there's a chance that it might fuck up the whole entire thing.
Talk about this poor actor that has to play Manta.
What do you want to talk about? He seems like a nice guy, I don't want to hold anything against him. He doesn't. And again, this might be direction. What do we know him from other stuff?
No, I don't know who he is.
Yeah, shoot, me neither. I wish I had seen him in something else. He's very stoic in this role, and I'm sure that that's a choice. But your father just died. You can show a little range. Even when he gets angry, it's very much just like, you killed my father. I want to feel something. Especially if this is now your turn, your villainous turn. You should be a little more upset. I don't know. It's hard. It's probably James Wan's fault.
I just think of the Black Panther guys, and you're like M'Baku and the guy that plays Killmonger. These guys are all guys that chew up the scenery.
They got Michael B. Jordan to play their villain, one of the greatest actors we have right now. That's an unfair comparison. That guy's got the emotional range of whatever has a great emotional range. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. But he's a great villain again because a guy whose father gets killed while he's doing bad things as a bad person. That's not a good story. But Michael B. Jordan, oh shit, Killmonger's got a great story. Oh boy, they did that right. So
that's the hard thing is you're playing in the superhero sandbox. You're going to get the comparisons. So this guy, I feel for him.
In their fault, it's not like Marvel has a whole stack of those villains. There's only a couple that are genuinely really good. And then, of course, we still compare them because that's what you do. You compare these guys to the better guys. That's what you do. But it's not like Marvel's hitting it out of the park every time. DC just missed every time. What are they going to do?
He goes home. Dad's still waiting. They go have beer for breakfast. Some random dudes are all like, we're going to seem like we're going to fight you, but we're not going to fight you. We want selfies with you guys. You're a superhero. And then we're like, more selfie, more selfie, more selfie.
The selfies did get funny.
Oh, yeah.
It helps.
It's fine.
It was a funny scene because he starts cranky and then 4 pictures in, he's clearly super drunk and just having a great time. And I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Okay. I wrote, we're going underwater. We see some pretty manta rays. Certainly, we never live in this underwater world and get to enjoy ourselves.
Well, because there's not really a world, Dan. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not a fully formed world, and that's the problem. Atlantis, you couldn't live there. Not just because I can't breathe underwater, but like it's just not a fully formed world. You can't. There's no world building to it, and it's just not. It's not a real thing. Maybe they're going to fix that in the sequel. I highly doubt it.
In that first stupid Avatar movie, which is a stupid movie, but they spend some time walking around in these environments and touching creatures and things fly down and land on their hands.
And whether you agree with the choices they made or not, they do explore Pandora. Like, you understand the world. It just doesn't make any sense, but you at least understand it.
And that's one of the weaknesses with the second Avatar is we don't really spend a lot of time in this beautiful
with
world.
The water people. Yeah. Which is just like this. Maybe water worlds are just tough. Water World. Another one. That's a great movie. That's
a fun movie. Okay, so there's a meeting. Willem Dafoe and a blonde guy. They're meeting this. They're meeting underwater in this sort of weird place, and there's the redhead guy, and we sort of find out that there's 7 kingdoms, and that if you can get 4 of them to agree to something, then you get to become Ocean Master, and then you can destroy everything, and then the sub comes, and you're just like, what? And then the blonde guy, Orm, just sort of kills the sub, and then everybody's like, well, I guess we're going to war, I suppose.
Well, let's take a quick moment, because I feel like you're disrespecting one of my heroes right now. And that is, of course, Dolph Lundgren, who plays one of the other kings. Let's give it to this guy.
Wait,
he did great.
Dolph was the redhead guy?
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's the redheaded guy. He's crushing it.
He was okay.
I thought that's 100%. At some point I wrote a note. I was like, when Dolph Lundgren is your best actor in a scene, you're in a little bit of trouble. And I love Dolph Lundgren, but he's not a thespian, right? He's just a guy that's going to kick some ass and take some names. But when he's like pulling the emotional weight of a scene, you're usually in trouble. You're not doing something right.
He felt like a king, and you're like, okay,
100%. Yeah, okay. I was okay with it. Oh, Patrick Wilson. This poor guy.
So they go to see Manta. These weird soldiers appear, and they give him something. They give him a bag of gold, I think. And then he's like, I want to kill Aquaman. And they're all like, here's your gold. You gave us that submarine. Now we're kind of done with you.
Thanks so much. So this is the first, I'm pretty sure this is the first of several moments where Patrick Wilson's character talks to humans as a watergram? Is that what you would call it? Because it's not a hologram. Because I'm pretty sure it's made out of water.
He does sort of come up there.
Is it a watergram? I don't know.
Watergram for you, mental like Manta. Watergram.
It's so weird. What a weird plot device for me. And maybe it's in the comics. I don't know. It did not work in a live action film for me. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it's fine.
It left no impression whatsoever on me. So I guess the war is sort of starting or something because Aquaman and his dad are driving home, and then this big wave comes.
Yeah, it's retaliation for the sub attack that never really happened.
So I guess now they're at war, even though he has to have the 4 things to be Ocean Master. He's just preemptively warring.
Yes.
Did we see him
it's
make
more
these?
of like it's in boat to speak, it's a shot across the bow. Is that right? Or is that planes?
Yeah, that's a shot across the bow. That's correct.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not like a full war.
I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to shoot across your bow to tell you my intentions. Right. But it's kind of like, why are you
But he did kill people.
Why are you telling people that you're going to be attacking? Don't you want to sneak attack? Do you want to Pearl Harbor this shit?
I think he knows that the humans aren't fighting him. So maybe this is his way of trying to bait them into a fight.
Yeah, but how would that happen? And how
I don't know, Dan. I'm trying to get in the mind of Patrick Wilson here, and it's very tough.
Did they show him how he made these waves? I don't think they did.
No, they didn't want to. No, they couldn't give that away for you. Doesn't make any sense. At no other point in the movie does someone control water like that, I don't think.
No. So
Well, I guess maybe Mira. Maybe Mira. I
yeah,
don't know.
Mira. So here comes Mira. The two of them get split off, and Mira's like water witching it. She can I can
Yeah.
control water. Witch. Um,
Which?
and then they have to CPR Dad, and then she witches the water out of him, and then she's like, "Call me Mira," and he's like, "Thank you." And then
Now-
she's like, "Orb did all of this."
Right, and who's that? I don't know. I don't care, lady.
Well, he kind of knows because Willem Dafoe's character's been secretly
Had told
training
him the
him,
stories. Yeah.
which
I
seems
guess.
like they sort of throw like two flashbacks in during the movie
Yeah.
that show this, and we're kind of like, oh, now you're telling us this because you want to. Huh?
Because, well, you need it for the story to understand. We couldn't figure out a way to do it organically, so we're just going to add some flashbacks that don't necessarily fit. Let me ask you a question, Dan, about Mira.
Amber Heard,
How'd
who
you
I
feel?
only really know about from the Johnny Depp trial, watching the Johnny Depp trial.
That's yeah. Oh, boy.
I don't know that I've seen her in another movie. Maybe I have.
Did you see Pineapple Express?
Nope.
That's the only other one that I know off the top of my head. So.
She's like low rate terrible.
I don't. Is that what is low? What does that mean?
Like,
Is it really, really bad?
No, just
Oof. Okay.
fairly bad.
Okay. Well, maybe
except
my anger might. Okay.
except
Yes.
when the
Oh,
two
boy.
of them have a kiss. They have a big kiss later on in the movie.
Oh, underwater.
And she gets like, no, I don't think it's underwater, but she gets real close
Okay.
to him. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I see it. That's when I saw it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I never saw it. I'll just tell you that.
Okay.
We'll say that. We'll leave it there. I mean, we don't have to get. I don't want to talk about the Depp trial because that thing is a mess from soup to nuts, right? Couple of nutters in a relationship. Very scary stuff. But she's garbage. She's just hot garbage in this movie. There are times when I'm not even sure she can walk like a human. And at first I thought she was doing it as a character choice because she spent all her time underwater. But then at the end of the movie, when she gives her little speech, and she's like, "Let me introduce you to King Arthur," she can't move her body like a human, and it's so weird. I want you to go back and watch that scene, Dan, because she's just moving so awkwardly as she talks to the people.
I am a puppet. I am a lizard wearing a human suit dressed as an Atlantean.
Yeah, it comes out. It's bizarre. I can't stand her. I can't stand it. And I'm so bummed that they let her come back for the sequel.
And the hair, there's like maybe a couple scenes where it's really pretty, and then a lot of the other times you're just like, I don't know about this wig.
Not working. It was, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird choice on her. I understand.
Yeah.
Again, it's a comic book thing, but you're right. There's a couple of scenes where it's like they got it right that day, and then the rest of the time it's like, oof, you missed. You should have studied that one scene that you shot. The lighting in it was huge.
TV news shows us the decades of trash that has been thrown up on the beaches by the big waves. Like, okay.
Yeah. Which, humans.
We see Dr. Shin, which is, what's his name? Is that the fresh off the boat guy?
Yeah, so I forgot his
name. So he's in both universes.
Is it Ronald Park? Raymond Park? Randall Park. I wrote it down because I always forget his name.
I love Randall Park.
I love him too. I am confused because he's also in the MCU. Are you allowed to do both simultaneously? I feel like that's against the rules.
Guess there's only like 3 Asian male guys and the other 2 were taken, so they're like, gotta cast him.
I guess that's it. We only got one left here.
And I mean,
I do love him. He's great.
He's great, and you're like, okay, well, I'd love to see him as the villain turn because, I mean, it can't be any worse than the 2 villains we have already because he's going to be better than them.
You'd have to try really, really hard to come off worse.
I kind of remember him from the Wanda and Vision miniseries. He sort of played a scientist in there, and he was great. You know,
he's like he plays an agent in that, and then he's also shows up in Ant-Man, the first one.
Yeah,
does like the magic trick or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love him.
Oh, I guess he's a SHIELD agent.
Yes.
Marvel.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, you're just like, once again, they're putting him. It looks like they're putting him in the nebbishy scientist role, which you're like, he's not a cool guy, but he's like, I don't know, he brings something good. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's great. I'm assuming he'll be in the sequel, and maybe he'll be the lone bright spot.
Yeah, because he's because at the end he meets up with Manta.
Yeah, and he's like going over his gadgets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows about Atlantis because he's like, this is Atlantean technology, isn't it? So he knows some shit. I don't know how. Don't make any sense.
So Volko, who is what's his name's the vizier guy,
Willem Dafoe?
Well, the Green Goblin. Green Goblin. This is like
let's just stick with Goblin. Yeah.
He's teaching Aquaman Jr. how to spin water and make a water shield that is your classic shot that he's going to have to make at the end of the movie to stop the bad guy. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. But I will say the cutaway to Willem Dafoe, like basically orgasming as he does it, is probably one of my biggest laughs of the movie. His mouth is open. So he's doing this spin, and we cut to him on the phone. And he's like this. I don't know. It's just like, oh man, this guy went 6 to midnight quick.
Okay, we're in Mira's cool little ship, which is like
we're cruising.
Like
we're cruising.
Fish.
It reminds me of like a Jetsons, but underwater, because I feel like it was making the sound. That was a terrible impression. Don't listen to what I just made. That was not the sound.
So the scenery in this scene, I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing this on the big screen. This part was probably very pretty on the big screen.
Oh, definitely,
definitely.
But also, I just want it to make sense as a cohesive world. Like, what does it all mean? It's just pretty colors, you know.
And they have to go through this gate that if you just don't go, you have to go all the way down and then go through a gate, but you could just fly through. But then there's Hydra cannons,
but then it just blows you
up that will shoot at you, I guess. But how big is the city and how far do they shoot? Shoots hydras at you? I don't know.
What does that mean? What is a hydra? Like a creature?
Hydras are two things.
Okay.
There's the mythical hydra, which is this sort of dragon-headed creature.
Yeah.
That if you cut off one of its heads,
one grows.
Two heads grow
that's
in
right.
place.
That's right.
And then the other hydra is this little tiny guy, maybe up to 1/3 of an inch. And
like a plankton.
No, he's like a little dude, and he's kind of like a little kind of octopus. So he has little tentacles.
Adorable.
He swims around, and I think with the hydra, he might be one of those creatures that if you cut it in half, they
multiplies.
Then he becomes two creatures. You know.
Okay.
I think so. I think or maybe he sprouts another baby out of himself. Maybe he bifurcates and becomes two creatures out of one creature. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Hence the Hydra name for him as a little tiny creature.
Sure. Those
are the two Hydras.
So which one is it shooting?
I think they wanted to say like hydro cannons shoots water.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying now. But listen, this movie is dumb. Also, this is going to feel a little bit random, but if you remember at the beginning of the episode, I was confused about James Wan directing Fast and Furious. It is Justin Lin, just came to my head right now.
Oh, yeah, Justin Lin.
Confused those two people. I apologize.
Jeez, we're racist, Tony.
It's similar names. It's the names. Probably. You're probably right. I apologize to everyone.
Now, do you want to talk about...
I doubt it.
Once again, I was watching the Thor Ragnarok.
Of course.
And it's like the camera always feels like it's a camera, right? Yeah. Camera, close up, medium shot, long shot. In this movie, we have the magical 360-degree camera that goes wherever it wants. It flies through the air at 1,000 miles an hour. It doesn't even, it's like we have the great drone shots, at the beginning of every thriller, where we're, and you're like, you never get tired of it. It's a beautiful shot. It establishes where we're at. It's like, it's okay. The roving 3D magic camera, you don't buy it.
because it doesn't ground you. We talked about this before, and it was it Avatar?
Maybe it was Avatar we talked about it.
I
This
don't know.
movie's even
I can't remember
worse.
what it was.
This movie is way worse. Yeah, it absolutely was Avatar 2. For sure it was Avatar 2.
It doesn't feel, and real is a stupid term when you're talking about a movie, I guess. I understand. But you never feel as if you're in a real place. It's just like if you're flying around every which way, you're discombobulated. Like it doesn't engross me more in the movie. I don't understand the choice at all. It pulls me away and I'm like, what is going on right now? I'm free falling.
Free falling.
Tom Petty would be pissed that they're ruining his song.
And it's just, we've talked about it in fights too, where you're like, if you can't see what the frick is going on in a fight and things are just like, you don't enjoy. I don't enjoy.
In fact, they do both at some point. When Mira's fighting in the final battle, I don't remember exactly what happens, but this reminded me of it. She like pushes off of something, and when that happens, the camera rotates 360 around her, and then she hits something else. And I thought I was going to throw up. I was so confused. I don't even know what she did, but I was like, this is dumb. Don't ever do that to me again. Yeah, it looks dumb. It looks terrible. Don't do it, guys. Go back to director school. I'm kidding. I don't know how to do it.
Mira lives in a shipwreck, which has water inside of it, air inside of it.
Does she live there?
I don't know. Maybe it's her secret hideout.
Where does anybody live? Why don't we see a house in the whole movie?
Mira's bedchamber. Let's go there.
Let's go there. I don't care where we go. We got to go somewhere. But we meet in a secret ship that may or may not be something people use. Why is there air in it? How's that even possible?
We unroll and Wilco is there, and he unrolls the map, and he's all like, "Here's what this movie's about: finding a widget, widget to solve the problems." So that's what the next 5 things you're going to have to do in this movie are all going to be based on you trying to get the widget.
They take a long time. You know what I mean? Like, if we just went straight there, I'd be less mad. But it takes another 45 minutes once he tells me what we got to do.
Oh, and then we get to see why Atlantis sank, because the king made the trident, and the trident was magic energy, and the magic energy was too much, and so it sank the Atlantis, and then the Atlantis, and the king sat on his throne, and then we got a magic compass that we have to look at the time of day when it's raining on a sunset, and Indiana Jones has to go to the Lost City, and in Bird Hand you can make another one.
Oh man, I'm excited. I need to talk to you about evolution. Okay?
Evolution?
Yeah. So whether you believe in evolution or not, that's irrelevant to this conversation, okay? So let's not talk about science too much. Atlantis sank, right?
Sure.
They're underwater. They didn't used to be underwater.
They learned to live underwater. They learned to live.
How do you learn? It happens this fast. You don't look. Evolution doesn't take 30 seconds, Dan.
Probably I'm guessing the magic trident hyper-oxygenated the water, and then as they got used to it.
You learned one science trick, and you just keep using it over and over.
See, no, that was a setup. This is now the callback.
He said,
what did it say?
That's good. He said in the movie,
I knew I was telling that monkey story for a reason.
For a reason, yeah. You played it off nicely, Dan. I'm proud of you.
I planned all that.
You wrote it down. You wrote it down. You did it, Tony. You wrote down your joke. It's 2 parts. There's probably a 3rd part coming later because you can't let it die. He says that they evolved to live under the water.
Yeah, they did.
They used the words evolved. If evolution takes, I don't know, decades, more, less.
At least.
Okay, at least decades. They would all be dead. They sank underwater. They're dead, Dan. They're all dead. They didn't evolve into anything. So dumb.
Okay. And now take this record. Oh, they have to find the magical tape recorder to play the piece of rock. That's what they're looking for. Magical tape recorder.
Which doesn't make any sense. That's dumb. It's really dumb.
And then the bad guys show up and there's a fight and he loses.
Yeah, he kind of does that a lot.
And so they chain him up, and then I wrote lots of talking, A video of whales getting killed? Why is there a video of whales getting killed?
I don't even remember that. Is there a video of whales getting killed?
I wrote down lots of talking, video of whales getting killed. Maybe it's like humans are bad. Maybe it's the humans are bad.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to get the war. It's all about this war. So he just, look at them. They're killing the animals that we also eat. I'm confused.
I don't know. So then they're like, I challenge you. And the challenge is in the Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire. That's what it's called. Now, Dan, can you explain fire to me?
How they do fire underwater?
Because there's a lot of it in this movie.
Well, you could have some volcanic heat. We do some volcanic heat stuff later.
Okay.
Sort of.
That's
fire.
fine. So it's sort of fine, but there's fire in this movie. There's lots of it. Then in
this way, when you're a comic book artist, you got to fill all that space. So sometimes you're gonna
you just got to put a little fire on there.
Put a little fire in there. The writer's like, "Why did you draw fire in here?" He's like,
I had empty space in the panel. What are you gonna do?
Write something about evolution.
We evolved in 34 seconds. It was a tumultuous time in our peoples. But in the Chamber of Secrets, they also have blue fire. What do you think that is?
Well, I know green
underwater.
Fire. Green fire is Greek fire. Maybe it's Greek fire.
Wait, you went from green to Greek?
Yeah, okay.
What does that even mean?
Okay, I gotta go some more science on you, Tony. Do you know what?
Yes,
do you know
this is what I need.
Phosphorus is?
I mean, no. Literally? I mean, it's an element thing, yeah.
Phosphorus is an element. You are correct.
But I don't know what it is.
I think phosphorus, when you get it wet, it burns, and so it actually will burn underwater.
Is this real? Are you making this up?
No.
I can't. No, I'm not. This is science.
I think that's how it works. Something like that. Right. But phosphorus is something that once it starts burning, if you put it into water, because like if you throw a flare into water, it doesn't go. It burns.
I guess because it wouldn't be all that helpful when you're in a shipwreck, then, right?
Like it's probably an abyss, right?
Oh yeah.
As it falls through the water, the flare burns.
I mean, you're right. You're right. It happens in all the shark movies too,
Oh,
I guess I'm wrong. I'm a big dumb dummy.
Except the Halle Berry one, where nothing
Except
happens.
for Dark Tide, I wouldn't look at that one as an example of the shark genre.
If you were to have said to me, Dan Goodsell, I will pay you $1,000 if you can name the Halle Berry shark movie, I'd be like, I am not winning $1,000 today.
I'll be. You know what? I watch it every week. I'm sorry. I love it.
She looks good.
So good. I mean, she looked great.
So we were having lunch, me and the boys, Harrison and Elko.
Boys?
We were all talking about the John Wick movies, which I've now watched. And the consensus is John Wick 3. So
that can't be real. It's my least favorite. John Wick 3 is the worst of all four. It goes 1, 4, 2, 3.
Oh, but although I talking about it to my buddy Dylan, and he's all like, yeah, once they started using the horses as weapons, I was kind of out.
I can understand it because they're, it's kind of sad, to be honest with you. But
3's the only one with that great Halle Berry's in that one. She's the best part of the movie. Yeah, she's the
worst part of the whole series.
What?
she drags the whole thing down, Dan, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Torpedoes it.
So that's what I was going to say. Is our boy Elko said, he's like, oh, yeah, I listened to your guys' show.
No, he doesn't. Elko, you're a liar. If he's listening to this, he's a liar.
That's what he said. So
see how that wouldn't really work out. If he was lying, he wouldn't be listening to it. But if he was listening, then he's not really a liar.
Okay, so I think we have another thing with the fighting.
Great.
Another flashback to Wilco teaching him fighting, whatever.
And this one, he's like a full teenager. And the kid, I like the teen. He looks good.
Now we're getting... Okay, so now Orm is down there. He's all like, we're going to start doing the Ring of Fire in a minute. And then he's like hitting on Mira. Was he hitting on Mira?
Aren't they supposed to get married?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I thought that's who she was supposed to be marrying because she's the daughter of Dolph. And I thought that's how they were uniting their kingdoms, was an arranged marriage between those two.
I think Dolph already said okay, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Dolph was totally into it. Yeah, he loved it.
And then we hear the heavy music, and we're like, oh, here it comes. Someone calls someone a dick. Who I guess is
Momoa calls Patrick a dick because he's like, I always wanted to meet my brother and tell him he's not alone, but yeah, that's because I didn't know what a dick you'd turn into. It's pretty funny when he said it.
And then Orm says, I hate you. And this is what I wrote. Said with all the emotion of not hating him.
I'm feeling pretty ambivalent.
I hate you.
Actually, that hurts more when you say it like you don't care. Because at least if you're angry with it, I know you care a little bit. All right.
I'm like complete. I hate you.
You could not care about me less. That's what that means. It's like I don't even have enough in me to get energized to tell you how much I hate you. Oh, that hurt, Dan. That was a tough moment.
Now we're coming up to the best part of the whole movie.
Oh, we have different best parts of the movie because I think we already missed my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, what's your favorite part?
Oh no, we didn't because he doesn't have the trident yet. We'll put a pin in that.
Are you ready for the Ring of Fire? I was hoping that dude was going to come out and do that.
Come out. He's just in every movie now. That's what's going to happen. This sellout.
But we have something better. We have the drumming starts, and who's playing the drums, Tony?
I don't know who's playing the drums.
A big octopus.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Lots of drums there. Oh boy, yeah, that's funny. How would that happen? Because normal people can't control the animals, right?
Nope, not at all.
So that's just like an octopus. That's like, this is what I like to do. This is what I want to do on my day off. Is I just want to drum over here. I appreciate it. I love it.
Octopus drum circle. Oh my god! So then they fight, and I was like, what is his flaw? What is his flaw that he has to get over?
Hubris? I don't know. He's too good looking. What is his flaw?
He's not good. He has no flaw. His flaw should be that he doesn't want to take charge of anything. He's like, no,
sure.
no.
Well, at some point he tells her like, I'm not a king, but it's different.
He says that, but it's not a flaw that he has to work through, where he has to admit,
That's true.
It should have been like, he's always getting drunk or being a bum or, stealing or something like that. But he's already been in a Justice League movie.
He looks like a thief. He looks like a guy that's going to steal. Okay.
You never forget that Conan the Barbarian is a thief. That is his primary job.
Boy.
Not barbarianing. Conan. He's a thief.
Barbarianing. I like it. So this fight scene in the Ring of Fire. Let me ask you a question about science again, Dan. There's a moment where Patrick Wilson leaps into the water, I guess you would say, and then slams down with extreme power. Like enough to end a shockwave.
So in other words, gravity's pulling him down.
What kind of gravity is there? What kind of gravity is there in this water that he's getting to come down so hard that there's a shockwave that gets shot at?
Okay, so I did a little research about how swimming works in Aquaman, and what someone posited is that their bodies like secrete some fluid that makes them like really slippery, so they just slip through the water so fast.
So they slip through the water. I don't like it. How do you know how you change directions then? Because wouldn't you still have to like swim? Because if you're just slipping fast, you still have to control your directions. Or can you shoot out liquid from different, like a blowhole?
Their pores both secrete and they're little like jet engines. Every one of their pores like a little
right arm, left arm.
They're like in a song. Buttocks. Go buttocks!
Go buttocks! Go!
Yeah, it's really stupid.
It just doesn't make any sense, At least in The Little Mermaid, which I haven't seen, they got tails so they can swim through the water. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure those tails are rocking it out.
Rocking and rolling.
Orm breaks the trident, which was his dad's trident or his mom's trident? Somebody's trident. was his mom's child.
Orm or Orna? Is it an
Orm.
N or an M?
M is
Orm.
in
Okay, so
underwater monkey.
Orm has his dad's trident, and Momoa has his mom's trident because it's flawed, like she was, quote unquote. Whatever that means.
She's too hot, even if she's that old.
She's too good looking for the underwater world. So we gotta send her to the surface.
So he breaks it. Mira comes over. Mira water blasts him, and then they get in Mira's boat, and they ride away.
Run away. Yeah.
And then I'm like, it's the scene in Thor where they're running away in the ship, and then they're making jokes and doing stuff.
Yep.
I'm like,
oh, yeah, that is correct. That's 100% correct.
Orm shoots her. Then I wrote, he's a dick for shooting her. Did he shoot Mira? Who did he shoot? How did he shoot Mira?
I don't know.
Maybe
he is a dick, though.
Maybe he just shot her ship, and then the ship crashes into the lava, and then they swim inside a whale's mouth, and Mira's like, wait, you can make the whale do stuff? And he's like, sure.
Yeah, can't everybody? I'm awesome.
So next
I
scene,
did like the Pinocchio joke when he was like, it worked for Pinocchio, and she's like, who? Made me laugh.
So boom, now we're in the Sahara. They've rented a plane with some amount of money that they have.
Yeah. So I don't understand. We gloss over that pretty quickly. They're just on the plane, which is fine, I guess, because I don't need to see a transactional scene, but not believable.
So they're in the plane, they're flying. We find out that the bad guys can track them because somebody gave her like a bracelet? That's a tracking bracelet.
I don't know.
I mean, I remember the scene where she got the bracelet, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
All right, it's fine.
And then they get to, she has like a thing, bing, 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 bing. Here's where we jump, and then she just tears the door out of the vehicle.
Yep.
And
that's super not safe on an airplane, right? Opening the door.
Well, it's a beyond dick move, right? She understands what a craft is, right? If she
has to.
If she doesn't tear the door off her own craft, why would she tear the door off of this guy's craft? Just open the door.
Because she's a delinquent. There's a handle that's really hard to open, I'm sure, but you could do it. You're very strong.
Yeah, and then she's like, we're jumping out. And then he jumps out after her. How does she know that she is safe to jump? She won't
die? That's a wonderful question, Dan. A wonderful question. It makes no sense. Why would she even think that for a second? She's been on the surface once, right? Twice, maybe. She doesn't understand it.
Nope.
And she's just like, yeah, this is fine. We're going a million miles per hour. I can jump and land in sand. It's fine. So stupid.
And they jump out of the plane, and I think Momoa's like, you crazy. You cray.
Yeah, although his line in the plane where the pilot's like, what are you doing? And he says, redheads, you gotta love them, and then jumps. I thought that was funny.
That's good.
Yeah, he's a charming guy. Let me say, we didn't talk about this yet, I don't think. But the first time I saw this movie, I did not like Jason Momoa. But I think it's just because I hated the movie so much. Seeing it again, he does have moments where I'm like, there he is. That's the fucking movie star. I get it. I 100%. Like, he's very charming. But they just, it's a terrible script.
He's saddled by this movie, which
100%
offers him no favors in what he has to go through and doesn't. He's a good actor. He's not a great actor. He's a good actor. Yeah. And he will get you there if you give him a place to go and a place to start from. And he's just not given any place. He his emotional journey is almost nothing.
It's yeah.
I mean, if they start at the start, spoiler, he's going to get back to his mom. If they start at the movie,
what?
If they start at this movie, you got to rescue your mom. This is a movie I want to see.
Suddenly he's got a drive. He's got a reason to keep going.
My mom is alive. I will tear open this world. And they're like, no, you don't have to tear open this world. You've got to unite the kingdoms. He's like, no, I got to save my mom.
I don't think so, bitches. I'm going to kill everybody.
People keep trying to drag him back into this other conflict, and he's like, no.
The political conflict,
Yeah, he's like, no, there's only one conflict, and that's me saving my mom. He saves his mom, and it's freaking beautiful. And then he goes back, and he's like, all you assholes who tried to stop me from doing this, you're going down. There's a movie.
Yeah,
There's a movie.
I love it.
Jason Momoa can do.
Let's write it. It won't be in water. I'll tell you that because I'm sick of this shit.
It's in the desert. Then we have so the bad guys know that now the only person they have that can help them defeat Aquaman is the dumb Black Manta guy. So they give him magic weapons and give him magic commandos to lead.
Yeah, and then so as soon as they do that, and then we cut to the next scene, he's like Tony Starking the shit out of this stuff. He's testing it. He's tweaking it. What's happening?
They give you Atlantean technology, which is a gun. And what does he turn it into? A helmet with lasers.
A laser eye helmet. Yeah.
I don't understand. First of all, okay, I guess so, but maybe make it into a laser blade since you're Mr. Blade guy.
Ooh, I like that. That's fun. Like a lightsaber.
I don't understand.
But how does he have the knowledge to do any of it?
Because he can do everything. Because he's
okay, got it.
I don't know.
He can do everything. He's a pirate. He's a sea pirate. This guy don't know how to adjust Atlantean technology?
Yes, he does.
Oh, no, he doesn't. Don't give me that shit, Dan.
And where are those commandos? Are they just like chilling in the other room playing cards?
They're playing video games for the first time in their lives, Dan. They love it. Super Mario.
More interesting scene than the scene that we're getting.
Oh, my God. I would laugh so hard if we got to the next room and they're just in there diddling.
Okay, they go to the desert thing, they find the thing, they find the magic talking thing, and they find a map in a bottle. So we did this whole Sahara thing for nothing.
Hold on, this is my favorite part of the movie.
This is your favorite part of the movie?
This is my favorite part of the movie. Just listen to me, Dan. You remember earlier when she pulled all that water out of the dad? Remember that? When he was choking? Tons of water, right? So they get to this thing, and they're like, "Oh, it's bone dry. It needs water." So she's like, "Yeah, you're the closest source of water that I can find." Right?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. She goes to his face. She starts to pull the water. She gets one drop, and then puts it on the thing, and it powers the whole machine. She could just spit on it. She doesn't need to do any of her magic. That was the smallest amount of water I've ever seen in my entire life. What? She should be like draining the shit out of him.
Did you ever see the movie The Fifth Element?
Of course.
What happens at the end of The Fifth Element?
Oh boy, I don't remember. I didn't know I was going to have to do a test on it. I just remembered that Bruce Willis is in it, and then some lady's in it. She's wearing some cool stuff.
They bring the little cubes there, and they put them on the thing, and then each one you have to do the element, and they have to get the water, and it's like, oh my God, it's the exact same thing as this stupid scene, but it's actually tense.
Do they get more than one tiny droplet of water?
They have to mop the brows, and they're like,
great.
And the one guy has to. Then Bruce Willis has to do his lighter, which he doesn't work the whole time. He's
oh shit!
And they blow on the one
stuff. Blow on the one.
And this one, we're just we just walk in here and we suck one drop of water off of his brow.
There's no reason for it. It wasn't cool. It wasn't fun. But somebody along the way was like, this is going to be a good scene. That's why it's my favorite scene in the movie. It lifts right out. This movie is the exact same with or without this scene. But the scene's about 5 minutes. Why are we spending all this time for nothing? I don't understand. This movie's too long, by about an hour and a half, by the way.
Yeah. Then the two of them go into Greece, and then they fall in love.
Did I miss that part? Are they in love?
After they go to
I know
Greece.
they kiss. I know they kiss a couple times.
Well, that's where they fall in love, because they're together in a place that's pretty, and Jason Momoa is pretty, and she's fairly attractive.
Strong disagree on that last point, but it's hard for me to separate things. It is beautiful there, and he's beautiful, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah, that's because they're busy falling in love.
Okay, got it. Busy falling in love. Oh boy, I must miss that.
Orm has to go and kill a king of the next fish tribe, And
Yeah, I
then
guess
there's
so.
like the fish woman right in front that's a princess, and he's all like, "You're gonna do what I tell you," and she's all like, "I guess so. You just killed my dad."
Yeah, I don't even know what exactly happens, but at some point it's just like, your dad is dead. And I was like, whoa, dude. You're a monster.
It's sort of the worst transitions of how you it's like his whole thing is, I'm gonna go there and kill the big boss who's like right up front and available to be easily, it's like,
And it
that's
was
not how
really just there to talk, I think.
that's not how kings work. Kings have a tendency to be back in the place that's safe. And
Layers and layers between them and any danger, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so boom. So they go and they figure out that there's like these statues, and then they need to hold the bottle up to the statue and then look through it, and then they see where they're going to go. And then Manta shows up and he says words, and this is absolutely the worst part of the movie.
It's terrible fight scene / chase scene. Although there's a really funny part where the mantis guy is like, "Don't you recognize me?" And there's no way that he'd be able to recognize him on any level whatsoever. And 2 seconds later, Momoa was like, "You're the guy from the sub." How did you pull that out of your ass, Arthur? No way. There's no way that you know who that is. That was it. That made me laugh pretty hard.
Do you want to talk
Other
about
than that, this scene's garbage.
The Manta suit? How terrible the Manta suit looks?
Look, I'm sure they tried to do comic book accuracy, right? I should have looked that up. Did you look it up?
Why would you look it up? Power Ranger monsters look more real than
way
this
better.
suit does.
Yeah. Do you remember what were they called? Beetleborgs? Is that what they were called? They were like a Power Rangers knockoff.
Okay.
But they kind of look like this, Beetleborgs. Let me
It just
No,
looks
they look
like
less dumb. I'm wrong. They look less dumb than this guy does. But it's similar, but the head's not so stupid. The head is just so dumb on this guy.
it's the one
I'm
thing
trying to
that's
look
the
up his comic.
carryover from the comic is the head is this big flying
yeah,
saucer.
that's...
And I like it from the comic because I grew up on it, but
Well, I'm looking at it right now. It looks way cooler when it's in a comic form. It just looks like he would tip over in real life. It just looks really silly.
It's a weight management thing that's the big problem. Do they kill Manta or do they disable him or something? They sort of beat him.
You kind of think that he's dead, but then obviously comes back later.
But Arthur's kind of messed up, and so then Mira steals a fishing ship.
Only a little.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like he's
anything. Passed out, but then in the next scene he's just fine again. So
yeah,
why? Why? I don't
know. She's at the front of the ship playing the flute. Where's she kept this flute the whole time?
Dan, I can't answer that question.
In her butt? Is that what you're thinking? Tony's like, she kept it in her butt.
It's clear, yeah. It's just like prison.
It's clear she kept it in her butt? Is that what you're saying?
It's pretty obvious that's the only option. She didn't have a bag with her, Dan.
Now this is like your midpoint. This is sort of your low point of the second act where they're like, we should turn back. Anger, I don't want to be the bridge. And then he's like, but I guess I'll just do it because why not?
So here's my problem. This is the scene where he's like, he's like, my whole thing is I'm a battering ram, but I keep losing. But he doesn't really, because like he just killed Mantis. You know what I mean? Like you just won the battle. Sure, you got hurt, but you did win the battle. You're alive.
Manta.
I don't know these guys' names.
Do you know what a manta ray is?
I know what a mantis is. You know what I'm saying? Green.
Why did he look like a mantis?
No, I guess not, but he doesn't look like a manta ray. Manta ray's got like big flowy wings on him, right? Swimming through the water. Doesn't look like any of these things.
I think his ship looks like a manta ray. I think that's the idea.
Oh, no, I guess you're right about that. It does. Yeah, it does a little bit. A little tail on it. Yeah, sure.
Maybe it said like, I travel in my Mantamobile. You know,
My Mantamobile. I hope that's what it's called. Is that what it is in the comics? The Mantamobile?
no,
I would
don't
love
think
that.
so. Okay, so they have the deep talk. What were you saying?
Oh, he just talks about how he's like, I just keep losing paths, but he's alive. He's doing fine. He doesn't really lose that badly. Yeah, he had to run away from one with his brother, but he was kicking his ass for a little bit. So I don't know.
Why did he even have to run away from the I mean, it's not like they had to run away from the Manta fight because he won. He was knocked out, but he still won.
100%. Yeah, like you won. You just got a little dinged up. You're pretty much fine, by the way. Like, it's not like you're dying. I don't know. It's real dumb.
Orm knows all about Volko's problem, being treacherous, and so he
betrayal.
A great scene that we really needed to see because I don't know.
Because okay?
There's a big storm. The fishmen attack. They jump into the water. Then they swim, and the fishmen follow them. And then they go into the light, and then they end up on an island at the Earth's core. The fishmen look kind of good. The swimming through the red look kind of good. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm curious. Why did the ugly fish guys attack them?
Because they're angry.
I was confused.
They're angry.
About what?
Everything.
What
they
are they so
kill
mad
everyone
about, Dan?
that comes there. If you drive your boat there, they're going to kill you.
So that's my question. Like, it's like a Bermuda Triangle type of thing.
The Carnival cruises do not go that way. They go around.
Okay. All right. Great. So they fight him. They go through a portal of some sort, and then his mom's one of the creatures. I got real confused.
Well, they sacrificed the mom to the creatures. The mom got away. She swam through the portal, and then she went to the island at the end of the earth. She then pulls them out of the water, and then he's like, "Oh my god!"
But isn't she wearing one of the creatures' skin?
Yeah,
because
she kills them. She kills them.
But so that means she killed it. She gutted it, and then she put it on. She wore it as a skin suit.
Yeah,
that's fucked up, man.
I mean, you know what leather is, right?
I don't wear leather, Dan. Because it's too hot. It's too hot on my body. You know what I mean? Like, I get all sweaty.
Makes you too sexy. Is that the problem with leather?
It's too sexy. I got to fend him off with a stick.
So he is reunited with his mom at the island at the center of the earth. And
it feels so
I was
good.
like, oh, this is emotional. I'm feeling this. You have an actor that can do emotion stuff.
Emote.
We finally found an actor 2 hours into this movie that could do some emotional stuff, and you're like, oh,
well, we did get rid of her for a while, you know what I mean? So she was always there. We just couldn't remember how to bring her back. We're like, oh boy, we're getting pretty deep into this movie. We got to get her back.
Yeah. Imagine a scene where like the two of them are fighting together and the fishmen drag her off the ship and drag her into the water, and he's covered in cuts, and she's just like, and then he has to rescue, then he's got to figure out how to get through them, and he brings Thor, and Thor hammers on them really hard.
Wait, wrong world. Wrong world.
He hires the Flash, and the Flash runs him through the water really fast.
We're not bringing Ezra Miller. Try again.
We bring in the Flash, and he runs on a trampoline, and then they go into the past, and they're able to change the fight. That's a DC movie plot.
That's all the further he goes back is just to change that one fight. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh boy, I got to see that movie this weekend. By the way.
Okay, so Mom, you got to go get the Trident.
Yeah.
Gotta go through the waterfall, and then they see the big monster. Oh, he sees a big monster, and then monster's like, oh, you can understand me. He's like, yeah, I talk to fish. And then the monster's like, okay, we're good.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, do your thing, girl.
I don't think they set it up perfectly, but I like that as a solution.
I mean, it's fine. What I don't understand is the king is holding it, right? The dead body of the king.
Like a rock version. It's like a statue of him.
But then it disappears. It disintegrates when he takes the fork.
It was
doesn't make any sense.
It's a statue held together.
I don't know, because when he takes the trident, the statue just disintegrates. I don't understand what it is. I don't know. I don't get it.
Okay, so Ocean Master, to become Ocean Master, all he has to do is fight the crabmen, And there's like
Call me Ocean Master. Oh, no, you lost me, guy.
there's a million crab men and then a million of his thing, and they're gonna all kill each other. I'm like, what? How if the only way you could increase the size of your army was by engaging another army, that's not gonna work.
No, that's how you
work.
kill people and lose people of your own team. It doesn't make no sense. You gotta unite. I got a question, Dan.
Yeah.
These crab men, why are they talking?
Why are they so silly looking?
Well, sure, why are they silly looking? But are they not sea creatures? Because they all talk to each other, but they're also not like the humans like the rest of them. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to be racist or anything, but I'm confused why the crabmen follow the human rules and not the fish rules where Arthur's the only one that can talk to them. It's confusing to me.
So since they're crabmen, Arthur should just be able to take over all of them? Is that what you're saying?
Wouldn't you think so? I don't know. Are there regular crabs in the ocean that he can talk to? Are they not related somehow? I don't know. I don't understand the genealogy of the situation.
See, the funny thing is there was some drunk guy in the 50s who like had to get a script done, right? And he's like,
yeah,
just draw some stupid crabmen and have them fighting with the other people. Some guy just invented stupid crabmen. He didn't think about it because he was so drunk and hungover. He just wrote a script and said, that's the whole thing is the problem with all comic book stuff is it's written by 100 different people who are all in different states of being drunk, right?
I love that all comic artists are drunk, all right?
Well, no, the writers. The artists.
I'm sorry, the writers. Well, you're right, because, writers drink. That's what they do.
Writers drink. I've seen Barfly. I understand. So basically his whole plan is to go and kill the crabman. Arthur calls up the big monster, and then he has 45 minutes to talk to Mira, and then they have the big kiss. And this was the kiss that I was like, okay, you're in.
So
my
the
movie.
water kiss you were into.
You're in my movie.
You're in my movie. You're not in my movie.
No, I think it was the air kiss. Did they kiss on the boat where she's playing the flute?
They had to have, right?
I think it was that
There's no way that the first kiss was under the water.
I think it was that kiss.
I hope it's the other. I hope it's not this water kiss. This water kiss looks stupid to me.
Okay, it was the
And then they're like flying around 360, and he kind of, I'm pretty sure he touches her butt a little bit, but, we don't highlight it because it's a kid's movie or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's it.
And then Orm and Arthur battle, and it's the fight that no one has waited for.
So they go to the surface for this fight. Are we there yet?
Sure.
So whatever.
Are they on a ship? They're on some weird ship?
Yeah, they're like on what I thought was the same sub as earlier, but I'm sure it's not because I blew up.
No,
but anyhow,
it was his command ship rose to the surface for some reason.
All right, so they're on the Mantomobile. I'm kidding. And the fight on the surface is also full CGI. Why? You have two humans. They're not in the water anymore. Let's have a real fight. But they're loosey-goosey flying around, kicking people. I wasn't interesting at all. It looked terrible. Just disappointed. Just disappointed the whole time.
And he breaks Orm's junior trident with his master gold trident. And then Mom's like, don't kill anymore. You've been misguided. Land and sea are one. Bow to the queen. Bow to the king. People of Atlantis. Oh, then Mira gets her speech. People of Atlantis. King Arthur. Never put that together again. He's King Arthur.
So I only put it together when he pulled the trident out, and he was the only one to pull it out. I was like, oh, it's like the sword and the stone. Oh, got it.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. This is the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. This speech by Amber Heard should go down in history as the most embarrassing moment in cinematic history ever.
This is it.
Oh,
this is it.
It was so bad.
Top of the list.
Ladies and gentlemen, King Arthur. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Boy, she's bad. She's really bad. Anywho.
Mom returns to the lighthouse, and
Oh, yeah,
their
it's real
love
cute.
saved the world, and that was sweet. And then we have some post-credit scenes where Manta's still mad, and I'm coming back.
I'm a coming.
Get
Don't
excited!
you worry.
I'm the villain. Everyone's like, no.
Aquaman 2, here I come, payday.
Good for them.
Yeah,
That guy's going to get a nice house out of all this, and
I hope so.
whatever.
Maybe two of them.
So this movie didn't make me angry because there was nothing. It's like Crabman. You're like, okay, Crabman.
Crabman.
It's kind of like
it did make me angry.
Well, yeah, there's the worst acting that's ever been put on celluloid. So there it is.
I mean, you're right about that. You are right about that. I'm glad you agreed, Dan.
But I liked that one shot with the manta rays. I liked the octopus drummer.
Sure.
And I like the one kiss with
it doesn't make any
Amber Heard.
sense, Dan. It's not good. It doesn't make any sense. It's a cool idea. Who's telling him to do it? It's octopus. He doesn't even know what's going on. He's not thinking all the way through.
There's like that TV show, movie, My Octopus Teacher, where the octopus teaches the guy stuff. So
is this a real thing?
Yeah, there's a show where like this guy like swims underwater and he meets
follows
an octopus
and learns from it. Not like it's okay. When you said it, I was like, what are you talking? Like he's teaching mathematics? What's going on over here? Got a little chalk in his hand, his tentacle just on a chalkboard. Okay, I see what you're saying. That's good. I'm sure it was a great show. It sounds wonderfully emotional. 12. There's the answer. My octopus teacher.
Okay, Tony. Anything else to say about this mess of a movie?
Yeah, no, I didn't like it. I didn't like it the first time, didn't like it the second time. So I'm glad that I wasn't wrong, but I do retract my hate towards Jason Momoa in that movie. It's not his fault, and I can see that more clearly now with a little distance,
He accepts your apology.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you guys.
Tony, tell us about something you liked this week.
Well, this is going to be a little controversial, apparently. Ted Lasso has ended, and people are mad. They hate it. They hate the ending. They hate the third season. People are whining. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was beautiful, funny, emotional. It was incredible.
Now,
and I loved it.
I heard he's like they say he's like not a psychopath but a sociopath because of this after this season. Like,
listen, people don't watch the show right. People are bringing their own neuroses to the show and not actually watching it for what it is.
I just want to I didn't believe that necessarily, but I read that and I was like, well, that's a turn. He's a weirdo.
Yeah,
but
it's not. It's not correct. It's not right at all. People, I shouldn't give away too many things about it because it's still pretty fresh. But we could talk about it. It's wrong. You should just watch it. It's wonderful.
Okay.
But then also, real quickly, I did see Fast 10, and I still think I'm right. That movie's a mess. That movie is a hot mess. Momoa, wonderful. What a treat. What a pleasure to watch him play this role. I think they messed it up. I think they ruined his backstory. That's just a personal opinion.
Sure.
He's wonderful. He's great.
Yeah, I went, and it was like 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like,
that just can't be right.
And you'd read them, and it'd be like, most of the people are like, "Look, this is fun." And then there'd be the people that are like, gave it 3, and they'd be like, Jason Momoa's incredible. The rest of the movie, total mess.
Hot trash. It's hot trash.
And then the ones were all like, goddamn Jason Momoa playing this fruitcake. And you're just like, well, there you go.
Yeah, what a mess. What a mess. But I mean, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
So I watched both Shazam and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I'm very curious about this Ant-Man.
Enjoyed them both.
Really? Okay, because people didn't seem to like Ant-Man, right?
People did not seem to like it. The girl that plays the daughter, I really enjoyed her.
Yeah, she's great.
Michelle Pfeiffer's wonderful. She looks great. I mean, she looks amazing.
It's the Fife. She's
like
the best.
You're hotter than most 20-year-olds. Hot 20-year-olds. We're just like,
all of
whoa.
them. Not most. All of them. She could be number one.
Yeah, she's beyond incredible.
Yeah, she's great.
And it's fun. And what's his name that plays Hank Pym? He gets a thing at the end that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
And I mean, it's another Ant-Man movie. They're just Ant-Man
Yeah.
movies. They're
So
not.
okay, I thought
It's
maybe they really messed it up because people were hating on people. There's something going on with people these days. I think post pandemic we got some screws loose right now because people are really hating on some things that are just fine.
the MODOK thing. Visually, I don't think it was good, but
Sure.
I think what it did and what's because the dude, the Yellow Jacket dude plays him.
Okay.
It made some sense, and it was not terrible. And I was like, okay, I would have.
That's about all you can do.
I would have designed it visually very different, but
Sure.
and I think that if they had designed it visually very different, there would have been a bunch of great jokes that they could have made that would have been even funnier.
Okay.
But they chose to just almost unprocess his face and glue it onto MODOK, and it never looked very good. Just looked kind of weird all the time. But that was not a reason to make me hate the movie because I think what they did with him was fine, and actually fine, good. And then Shazam, I enjoyed. There's a couple things. There's some nice emotional beats. That whole show's movies about family, and I think they portray the family really well. The family always cares about each other, and there's one thing that happens in there in the middle that I thought was so clever and set up perfectly and truly enjoyable. And the one girl that plays there's like the three bad women and the one girl, she's really interesting. I thought, and she's going to be in the new Hunger Games, and I'm like, okay, wow, that's
right. They're doing is it a prequel?
It's like a prequel. It's going to be terrible.
Okay,
but I'm like, this girl's, I'm like, she could maybe carry a movie. Okay.
I love it. All right.
What do you got for us next week, Tony?
Okay, so I was really fighting between two things.
Put your seatbelts on.
You're talking about superhero movies. We just did a superhero movie. I feel like it's superhero time. It's summer. So we're going to do sort of a superhero movie. It's about superheroes, but it's not a superhero movie. I don't know if you're going to make sense, but it's Tim Allen. This is, of course, 2006's Zoom. You ever heard of this movie?
I think it's really good.
There's no way that's really good. First of all, it's got 6%, 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think this movie's going to be good.
Now, who's in this movie?
You got Tim Allen as the lead, the dad. You got Courtney Cox is in it. Kate Mara? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Mara? I don't know. Chevy Chase apparently has a role in this.
I like this movie. I've seen this movie. It's a great movie.
You've seen this movie?
Yeah, of course I have.
It's got 4% from the critics and 33% from the fans. I hope you do like it. I'm excited to see it.
I enjoyed this movie. This movie, fun movie. It's a little more of a kid's movie.
Okay.
And I can see that people not this movie as I remember it. This will be fun. This will be a fun one to sort of look at as a movie. Felt like a Disney movie, but that
interesting.
Kate
Okay.
Mara and it's a kind of a Spy Kids kind of movie, where it's a little bit of a wish fulfillment kind of movie, and now I'm thinking about the plot. I believe the plot's pretty good, and it's a really interesting plot, and I think the ending is really good, and Tim Allen is fine. Yeah,
Dan, this doesn't sound right, Dan. Let me just tell you what the critical consensus is this. Lacking the punch and good cheer of The Incredibles, Zoom is a dull and laugh-free affair. So I don't think it's good.
Okay, well, we're going to see. It'll be interesting. Because
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it.
But, and I'm not a big Tim Allen fan or anything, but... this as I remember, this is kind of a Galaxy Quest kind of movie where you're kind of like, okay, this is an interesting little ride of a weird movie.
All right. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? We could actually like a movie, or I could like a movie.
No, that'll never happen.
You could be an idiot and not like it.
I am always an idiot. All right, and I stand by it.
Idiocy. So this has been Aquaman. This is a fun one. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about this Aquaman movie. If somebody said to me, "I like that movie," I'd be like, "Okay." I wouldn't want to punch him in the face.
But I would prod further. I'd be like, "Okay, but how did you feel about Mira? Tell me that. If you say you liked her, you're out. You're out of here. If you're like, I liked the movie in spite of her, I'll give it to you."
Ah, yes. And so if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or even subscribe. People can subscribe. It's the thing you can do on YouTube. You can subscribe.
Can they? They don't do it. So I
Some
don't
channels
know if I
have
believe it.
millions of subscribers. So
Not this channel,
Not this
baby.
channel, but that's
We're
okay.
a tight-knit secret club. Let's keep it that way, guys.
We'll be talking next week about Tim Allen's Zoom.
Apparently, it'll be a pretty short episode where we talk about how much we like it.
I just feel like a thumbs up. That's it. Nothing
Thumbs
bad
up, see you
about
next
this movie. But as I remember it, there's a lot of it's a movie with a number of different tones, which that's one thing. Because Chevy Chase
is Chevy Chase.
It's gonna be. We're gonna talk about Chevy Chase because he's a character.
He's something, all right.
Yeah, went from being like the highest paid comedy star in the world, probably, to being he has a very big part in this.
Yeah, he really blew it. Poor guy. I mean, you got to feel bad a little bit, but we'll save it for next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So it's been a fun one, and we'll see you next time.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch it!